Hello, this is Alex, and this is going to be my project for the Chapter 6 for the Go Green ad. So this is actually going to be the ad that I'm going to be placing on all of the buildings and stuff that I chose to do so. So to get to this point, I started with this picture here, and I did a crop here, and for some reason all my tools came down here. I don't know exactly what happened, but let's see right there. And I took some of this negative space out of it, so I drug that down here and up here to eliminate that so I could focus more on the ad. I accepted that guy. And then I actually used the pen tool here and I did a path along this edge line and used the horizontal tool to put my website in. And then I did another path up here to put the Go Green to get it looking like this. For the fonts, I just changed the colors to the green. I used the color picker to do that and just kind of messed with the fonts until they looked big enough that I thought would work for my ad I wanted to have it on, and just kind of played with that until it got to this point. Once I did that, because I had then a couple layers here, I'll just put that out there just to show you here. So once you have that our text tool floating here on my path, I merged these layers to get it to one so that way I could move it a lot easier. So from that point, I was ready to start on actually placing these ads. So the first thing I thought of was a water tower, and I chose this image here because I thought it would work pretty good. My final version of that looks like this. So as you notice down here in the grass, there's some ruts and stuff. So I actually used the patch tool and selected around these ruts here, and it worked really well just selecting this around here and moving that and just matching up with the grass like so. And that got my grass ready to go. And then to get my ad in here, I did a file place embedded, which brought my regular ad just in like this flat on my image, which once it was actually placed on here, just go ahead and do it. So get this big piece, and I resized it and kind of drug it up here just to see where I was at. And then actually ended up doing enter that, doing an edit and a transform, and did a warp. And I actually did this inflate, and that gave it this kind of bulbousy look. And I came back to this options bar and did a custom, so I had my points, and I kind of drug those in just to match it. This will be a little rough, but messed with that some until I had it like in the confines of the water tower. And it took me a little bit because, as you can see, it can get pretty jelly-like, but got it to the point where it was fitting inside this. And then to mess with the lighting effects, because we have some light coming from the right of the screen onto here, so you can see the sun line here. Went to filter, render, lighting effects, and use the embedded. And I took this handle here and drug it over to the left. As you can see, the light is getting shined on this right side here. I brought it down this way and turned the intensity down a little bit just to kind of match where it was coming from. Hopefully that looked okay. I think it turned out alright, but I'll let you guys be the judge. Then for my next ad, I chose this hotel side. And as you can see, it kind of looks like it's leaning away from us, the viewer. And I ended up doing a perspective warp to bring it up, and I'll show you. This is like the final version of it. And it kind of brought it closer, looking like it's more standing upright. But to do that, you have to do a perspective warp, which should go into Edit, Perspective Warp. And you click here, it brings up a grid. I just, like the assignment, I matched each of these corners up to its sides here. And this one over here is a little more arbitrary, but tried to match it up as much as best I possibly could. So this is your first grid. Then you have to actually click to make a new grid and then line it up kind of the same way on this side. And when you're doing that, you actually will take this closest line here, and you'll move it over, and this line will turn a dark blue, and then that way you know that it's actually matched up. And once you have your grids laid out, you accept it, and then that will actually bring that building more upright, like I was trying to do. To get my ad up here, we first need to copy it, so I went in here and hit a Control A to copy this. Let's see here. Sorry, it was still from the other one. Control A to copy that and get the marching ants. Do an edit and a copy. And come back over here to this area. And we're actually going to do a filter vanishing point. This brings you to this new window, and it actually did it just like the book had us do it. So when you're in this new area, this tool that you actually need is already selected, this Create Planes tool. And you can see it here just vaguely. I have my blue kind of grid that I had made for this. To do that, you're going to click and make your box here. And I'm just going to, just to demonstrate, you're wanting to edge this image. Yeah, that's still a little off. I liked that the colors kind of show you if you're close or not, it seems like. Because as I see, it's like red to yellow to blue. And so we have our first side here. And it's not lined up, but just, again, this is kind of a rough thing. Then we'll do a Control click. And as you see, that drags it over like in a perpendicular to your one that you have. And then what I did for my ad up here, I kind of used these lines in the building to help me in the windows to line up the ad to make it look a little bit more natural here. And once you have these laid out, you actually do a Control V, and that copies that ad that we had, or that I copied from my other layer, and places it in here. And you will then drag that selection into here, and it'll kind of transform from, because it comes out here, you'll drag that in, and it like will conform into this grid that you made. So because we have this here, I want to cancel out of this. And then for this lighting, I'm not super happy with this light up here, but I had a hard crash and with my computer, and for some reason saved it like this, and I couldn't do anything with it. But I'll kind of show you what I was doing to get where I wanted my light coming from this side, because as you can see in the picture, it looks like the sun's out over this way. So then again, for the lighting, I did a filter, render, lighting effects. And I forgot to mention, when you're doing this, make sure you have just your banner, or I just made sure my banner layer was selected. I hit OK. And I actually went to, I was trying to do a spot one, which brings you to this window here. And I was kind of moving it up this way because to me, anyways, it looks like the sun's coming kind of this way. So you have a bunch of options here. You can move this, and as you move it, you can see the light source on your banner is different. This hotspot angle actually makes this light wider, so I kind of think of it as like a weak flashlight to a stronger one. And I played with that until I got something kind of close. Let me cancel this out to what I thought the actual light was looking like. Although, as you can see, with the crash, I got this super dark spot, and I could not recover it for anything that I did. So then my last ad actually was this here. And I'll just leave you with that. I'm actually just kind of kidding. I just thought it was goofy and funny. But hopefully the rest of the project was helpful, and I had a good time, the whole class, seeing everybody's projects, and hope you enjoy this one as well. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else's. Thanks.